Should I get a whole life insurance policy with Penn Mutual or MassMutual? We recently worked with someone who compared these two companies very, very closely. We looked at different products, and he was very, very detail oriented. So I'll show you the process we went through and then what product he ultimately decided on. So to kick things off, a little bit about him. He is a physician, and he was looking to put away $150,000 per year for 15 years into a whole life insurance policy. And his goal was purely cash value. The reason why is because he already has a lot of life insurance in place. So what he wanted to do is compare products with both Penn and also MassMutual. And one of the things he had said about Penn was that he hears a lot of agents talking about Penn as a company where it seems to be the company to go with in terms of cash value. So he really wanted to dig in and do his due diligence. So what we looked at in terms of Penn Mutual is they've got two products. One is their primary cash value product, which is their accumulation whole life insurance product. And then with MassMutual, so if you're looking at a product to maximize the cash value, their 10 pay is usually going to give you the highest internal rate of return. However, do you remember how long he wanted to fund the policy for? 15 years. So what we looked at instead was a 15 pay policy, which is still a very strong policy with MassMutual, but you will notice that the IRR is slightly weaker than what you would get with a 10 pay policy. But you've got the option to fund for 15 years instead of 10 years. So let's take a look first at the detailed illustrations, and then we'll dive into the Excel comparison. So here's the actual Penn Mutual policy, and what we've got here is what he was approved with. So he received a preferred rating. We've got him at age 44, preferred non-tobacco. You've got $150K per year for 15 years. I'll scroll down in a moment, but what I want to hit on is just the overall design of the policy, where we've got everything maxed out just based on Penn Mutual's limits. So with that said, you can see the cash value, death benefit, everything accumulate over time. The break-even point, year 5. One of the big drawbacks about Penn that some express is the first-year cash value, where they are not the strongest for upfront cash value. However, from a long-term accumulation standpoint, their illustrations do look very, very good. So there's the Penn Mutual illustration. Let's take a look at the MassMutual illustration. So same thing, 44, select preferred. That is MassMutual's second best health rating. Penn Mutual second best is exactly what we just saw, preferred. So we've got the same ratings here side by side. The product we selected, 15 pay, because he wants to fund $150K per year for 15 years. He doesn't have to do that, by the way. If he changes his mind 4 or 5 years in, he very easily can. So as we look at this guy, there you go. First year cash value is stronger. Same with the break-even point. But we're going to look at a side-by-side in a moment. The one thing that I want to mention is why this one is stronger is because with Mass, we can really push the base premium lower, where we're at $93.75. The all-in minimum commitment with this, with a term rider and everything, is right around $12K per year. Whereas with Penn, it's about $31,000 per year. They do have a higher minimum commitment with the design and such that he went with. So looking at the comparison, here we go. First, we've got the Penn policy we just looked at. What is highlighted in yellow represents the break-even point. You've got the annual yield, which represents the year-to-year growth, and then the internal rate of return, which is really what we want to look at if we're measuring the overall growth rate from a percentage perspective. Then we've got MassMutual, their 15 pay product. You'll notice the first year hit is a lot less. That's because we could push that base premium lower. But as you look at the two side by side, here's our difference in cash value. What do you notice? Well, Mass is stronger all the way through. Now, this is surprising to some because I have heard many times over the years that Penn Mutual always looks the best on paper. There have been times that they have looked the best, but I've never seen one company always look the best. But this is MassMutual's 15-pay product, which remember is not their strongest product when we're comparing everything. So there is a side-by-side comparison. And as time passes, he does see greater results from a cash accumulation perspective. And that is what he is primarily interested in. Now, one other thing that we looked at, because he asked a bit about Penn, and I'll let you know that he did move forward with Penn. And with that said, I sometimes, all the time, have a hard time recommending a company or product where I make more money and I cannot obtain any proof that that company has delivered a strong IRR and cash value. The illustration looks great, but I have a hard time getting proof. With Penn, we've had a hard time getting proof. I have seen some really strong signs really since 2008. So I'm not uncomfortable using them to the degree I would be with some other companies. I still like the major mutuals because of the consistency. Anyway, where I'm going with this is the compensation that we receive with Penn is much higher than what we would receive with Mass with this product. So let's take a look. And why he went with Penn, by the way, is because he received a preferred rating with them. MassMutual was difficult and came back with a table B. We also looked at another company, Guardian, and they declined them. And it was for silly reasons because all of the companies got the exact same information, but that does happen on rare occasion, like 1 out of 300 cases. I see that kind of stuff occur. But anyway, he went with Penn because the rating was better and it made sense. Like I'm not going to recommend a table B with the major mutual over a preferred rating with a different carrier. That I wouldn't do that. But the comp, what is it? Well, with Penn, here you go. The first year, and this is with a design where we're maxing out the cash value, it's $30K. And there's the renewal compensation. This is at the maximum rate. The total over 10 years is about $72,500 that I would make versus MassMutual. The first year at the maximum comp rate with the design we have here, $9,000. There's the renewal compensation over time. The total commission over the 10-year span comes out to what? Just under $40,000. So there is a big delta there when we look at the compensation to both, especially upfront. So where I struggle with this, and I have conversations with other agents and my peers, is with this guy, I have not seen the consistent proof of performance. I am heavily incentivized, especially upfront, because that's very, very motivating, to sell this product over this one. But I have received a solid track record over time from these guys, which that's important for me. I'm not saying that doesn't exist with Penn. Again, we have seen good stuff from them since 2008. But also, when you look at the comp there, how many agents do you think look at this and say, hey, the numbers are very, very close between these two. Penn's okay. And then use other reasons to justify it due to the fact that the compensation is almost double. Like with Penn, you almost make the same amount in the first year than what you make over 10 years with Mass. It's close. They're both, I know it's a $9,000 gap, but my point is there definitely is an incentive there. So it's just something that I do like to attempt to make transparent so people are aware of it because it's important. Anyway, I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And as always, I hope this helps. So if this was helpful and you'd like to go deeper, here's what I would do next. Step 1, download the free case study using the link below. It'll make everything we talk about feel more concrete because you'll see actual numbers on paper. And step 2, if you're serious about a high cash value life insurance policy for yourself, Whether it's for your business, real estate, or you're just looking at a safe place to save money with tax benefits, I'd use the calendar link on that page to book a custom policy design session. On that call, we'll ask a few simple questions about your situation. We'll go over an illustration with you on the spot, and we'll walk through the year-by-year numbers so you can decide if it makes sense for you. No pressure, just math and options. And if you just want to keep learning for now, feel free to subscribe and check out the other case studies on the channel. As always, I hope this helps.